again welcome you to our next class. I am Shhashi from Social Science Department. I represent Biyani group of colleges, a college that works for teachers, for girl education, and it is one of the renowned colleges in the whole Rajasthan. So now, today we have come here to discuss about a very important and interesting event, we can say, of our Indian history. Today's topic is the non-cooperation movement, one of the most renowned event of our freedom struggle at the time of Britishers. Now this movement, its time period is from 1920 to 1922. It means for 2 years this movement flourished and succeeded in its full swing, and it was started by Mahatma Gandhi, the father of our nation. Mahatma Gandhi, when this name strikes in our mind, not only we Indians but in abroad also, our head is just held high in pride that yes, this is the person who influenced the whole world. This belongs to our nation, to our India. So this famous personality started this movement. Now one important thing to be noted here is that before starting this non-cooperation movement against the British government, Mahatma Gandhi, he was a staunch, we can say, strict follower of Britishers. He supported the government of England. He supported their policy. Now what happened that such a staunch follower of Britishism, in other words we can say, just set up his mind against them and started a series of movement, one of them of which is the non-cooperation movement. What happened? Now he deeply believed in the policies of the Britishers. He never expected that in future the Britishers might exploit India at all levels, socially, economically, religiously, administratively, regarding trade and commerce. The Britishers exploited us very, very badly and brutally. And finally, they hurted our religious sentiments. They just intervened in our social life, so much so that the revolt of 1857 happened, and indeed we attained great success in that event. And that was the revolt which just inspired us to fight for our freedom, fight for the freedom of India unitedly. So we will today discuss this non-cooperation movement under these headings. Now the aim of this movement was to attain complete freedom at all levels. Indians wanted complete freedom from British government in all respects. Second, the basis. The basis of this movement was completely non-violent. Nobody should pick up weapons or commit any bloodshed or indulge in any sort of violentful activities. So this non-cooperation movement was completely based on the policy of non-violence. This was the pride of, this was the chief importance of this movement. Third is the 5 fundamental principles which Gandhiji appealed to the people of India that all should follow these fundamental principles if they wanted to make success this non-cooperation movement against the British rule. So what were these 5 fundamental principles? Yes, the first one is charkha. Everyone should spin charkha and make Swadeshi cloth for themselves to wear, and to end the dependency on the British trade or on the British cloth which they sold to us on their high prices. Second thing he wanted the Indians to follow was to eliminate this evil of untouchability from Indian society, because this sense of feeling of untouchability, it just created deep we can say, trenches between the hearts of the people, between the various sections of society. And till this crime, this we can say this social evil is prevalent in society, no section of the society can stood unitedly to fight against any sort of movement. Then the third appeal he made was intoxicating drugs. Yes, in those times and even today, the use of intoxicating drugs, especially by our youth, the future of any country. Now this thing, this evil thing of the society was just destroying the society, destroying the dreams of people. So this was very much needed in those times. Stop use of intoxicating drugs and lead a simple and healthy life full of strength. Third appeal which Gandhiji made to Indian society was Hindu-Muslim unity should be established, should be strengthened. He wanted, it was the dream of Mahatma Gandhi, that Hindus and Muslims, they should stand unitedly in front of British rule, and that was the thing. This thing is still needed even today. The fifth appeal, yes, equality towards women. Women should be given equal status. Women should be strengthened. They should be brought in front, and they are also talented equally like a men. So no discrimination between men and women. Women should work for the upliftment. Women should come in front and they just walk forward to fight against in this non-cooperation movement, in any sort of freedom movement, as a man fights for his society, for his country. So Gandhiji focused on the upliftment and the equality towards women also. Now one interesting thing to be noted here is that all these 5 fundamental principles, basic principles which Gandhiji appealed that it should be, they all should be followed by Indians, by us. Now don't you find that these principles appeal, they themselves appeal to us also in today's modern era also? Yes, all these 3 social evils are still prevalent in our modern Indian society or Hindu society, we can say. To some or the larger extent, these evils persist even today, and today also. Now today Gandhiji won't be able to come and appeal to us, but we should learn a lesson. If we respect Gandhiji, then we should definitely follow his appeal even today, and till the end, till all these social evils are completely eliminated from our Indian society, we should just kept echoing this the appeal of Mahatma Gandhi. We should take an oath to just eliminate these social evils from our society. We should just imagine that today also Gandhiji, he must be appealing to us कि yes, the thing which I appealed a couple of years back, what you did of them. Today also there is very much necessity to follow these 5 fundamental principles to make our society evil free of all social evils. Yes, returning back to the topic. Now Kesari-Hind, this title was given by British government when Gandhiji supported the British policies, when he had deep faith on the British government that they are honest enough to help Indians in their development. They will never exploit the Indians. So only to win the support of Gandhiji, they awarded him, they honored him with the title of Kesari-Hind. Hind means Hindustan. So Gandhiji, on the appeal of Gandhiji, we Indians, a vast number of Indians wholeheartedly supported the Gandhiji and indirectly the British government in those times. That is before the starting of non-cooperation movement. Now, previously in the beginning in South Africa, in AD 1915, Gandhiji, he was honored very much there, and he started Satyagraha movement, and he became very popular on account of his policies of non-violence and Satyagraha and these all sorts of freedom movements, we can say. Freedom from social evils, freedom from slavery. He always fought against the social evils, whether he was in India or whether he was in South Africa. He always stood against any sort of injustice. So, this is the background if you want to understand the non-cooperation movement in its full form. These were the causes, the chief causes which led to the arising of this great non-cooperation movement. Now, the first cause was the Rowlett Act, second Jallianwala Bagh Massacre, third was Khilafat Problem, fourth was political attitude of Congress, and the fifth, last but not the least, was repressive policy of British government. Yes, the last cause, repressive policy of British government. If all such movements are starting in their vigorous speed against the British authorities, in the end, losing their patience, the British government resorted to repressive policy to suppress the Indians by hook or by crook, by fair or by foul means. They just wanted to crush this movement. Okay. Now, the first one was the Rowlett Act. Now, what is that Rowlett Act? In the beginning, that is in 1917, India Defence Act was passed by British government. Now, this act was not acceptable, and this was not accepted by the Indians in those times. So, a commission was established as named as Rowlett Commission. Now, this commission took 3 years, that is from 1917 the commission was started, and in 1919 the Rowlett Act was passed. Now, when this act was passed, people seriously, they just stood against this act. They were very much dissatisfied on passing this act, and they never accepted it. Now, Gandhiji, he just organized an all India strike, and the result of this strike was that British government had to withdraw this act. Okay. Now, this is what happens when we stood unitedly against any crime or against any injustice. Now, Pandit Motilal Nehru, he commented on this act, this Rowlett Act, which was passed in 1919, that this act gave the rules or issued the rules that anybody, any Indian can be arrested at any time, and that also no reason should be given, and for an uncertain period. The arrest orders had no basis of crime. So, in such unjust situation, it was very discomfortable for the people to accept such an, we can say, such a nonsense act. So, Motilal Nehru commented that this act stopped any possibility of appeal, vakil or dalil. Appeal means we cannot appeal against such injustice. Dalil, we cannot put forward any sort of argument that why are you arresting us, why are you passing such a sort of stupid act. And the third is vakil. We cannot even hire an advocate who can put forward our matter. Yes, we are clean. We are not criminals. Why this authority is arresting us? Give us some solid base of this arrest, of the issue of these orders of arrest. So, this act just provoked the feelings of Indians, and Gandhiji was badly hurt, and he just organized an all India strike, and hence the British government has to take a step before and they have to push themselves back, and they just withdraw this act. Now, the another one is the famous Jallianwala Bagh Massacre. Now, how this event of brutal bloodshed became responsible for the starting of non-cooperation movement? Now what happened? The two leaders, Mr. Khichlu and Mr. Satyapal, they were arrested by the British Governor General, because these two leaders, they actively participated in this non-cooperation movement. So Britishers were just afraid that they might create some problem in future, so they just arrested without giving any reason. So the people of Punjab, they were already dissatisfied and they were angry on such an action of the British authorities. Now at that time when this massacre occurred, Baisakhi festival was there and people organized a meeting, we can say a small celebration, a small gathering in the Jallianwala Bagh. Now seeing the seriousness of the situation, the British authorities hand over all the authority of Punjab of maintaining peace and law and order from General Odier to General Dyer. Now General Dyer, on a baseless, we can say, there was no such reason to just open fire and shoot a numerous number of innocent Hindus or innocent Indians, only just to show his pride or show the ego of his authority. He just said that no meeting is allowed in such a disorder state. So he just opened fire, and we all know what were the brutal and bad consequences of that massacre. Even throughout India and even in abroad, this action of Dyer, General Dyer, it was completely not acceptable and it was completely resented. People were angry. Gandhiji was badly disturbed on hearing this news. Now General Dyer, when this matter was declared that General Dyer is innocent, he has not committed any mistake while opening fire on a vast number of innocent Hindus, when this news came, the people's anger was on the height and they just finally decided to launch a strict non-cooperation movement against the British rule and just throw the Britishers out of their country, out of their motherland. Now the third thing is Khilafat Problem. Now Khilafat Problem, Muslims of India, what happened? They were afraid that the Britishers might adopt a revengeful attitude towards them. Why? Because during First World War, Turkey supported Germany against England. So Indian Muslims, they got afraid that they were also Muslims in Turkey which supported the Germany against the England. So England might take revenge from the Muslims of India. So taking the opportunity of this situation, Mahatma Gandhi, what he wanted was to support the Muslims, to win their confidence and to just unite them with Hindus, and both Hindus and Muslims unitedly stood against the British authorities, against the unjust rule of British authorities towards the Indians. So he just took an opportunity and he just supported the Muslims. Now, political attitude of Congress and the repressive policy of the British government. Political attitude of the Congress, as we know, the Britishers' policy of divide and rule. They always seeked for an opportunity that how to divide the different sections of society of the Hindus, because they very well knew that once all the different sections of society are united, then it would be a great danger for them, for their existence in India, as they have already suffered a lot, suffered losses due to the revolt of 1857. So they have just learned a lesson from that revolt, and that revolt was just a beginning. Some or the reasons it was said at the time of revolt of 1857 also, that if a few things were in favor of Indians, then the revolt was so much powerful that India would have been attained freedom in 1857 only, not in 1947. That is almost 100 years back. So any revolt we Indians started against, launched against the British government, the powerful British regime, It was all the time very powerful and intense and effective, and the Britishers in their heart, they were just shook from their foundation. 14-point program was launched through the non-cooperation movement. There were 14 things to be followed by all the Indians and by the followers of non-cooperation movement. First of all, Gandhiji surrendered his title of Kesar-e-Hind, which was awarded by British authorities before the starting of this movement. Now, following Mahatma Gandhi, all the Indian British officers and servants, they just gave up their title, they just resigned from their government posts, and students vacated the government schools. New national schools were opened. Formation of Nyay Panchayats. Now, we Indians in those times, now we were not dependent on the British court of law. We formed our own Nyay Panchayats. We formed our own national schools in which our kids of Indians were admitted and they were educated. Then we boycotted foreign goods and started using Swadeshi goods, and for that we felt the necessity of establishing small scale and cottage industries. So from this thing we just try to strengthen our trading activities also, so that we can become self-dependent and not dependent on the British authorities or on the British education system or their court of law or their economy or their industries. Okay. Then we just refuse to attend any sort of government functions. Then any sort of involvement in government functions. Then foreign articles, Nyay Panchayat, small scale industries, national schools, communal unity, untouchability and caste system, non-violence, etc., etc. The thing which we felt should be eliminated from our Indian society so as to strengthen all the people, all the Indians, all those things. We took an oath, we took a pledge to just eliminate all these evils from our society. So that now these all were the reasons which just gave a push, a hard push to this movement, and we were successfully organizing such sort of activities. A huge number of followers added in the path of non-cooperation movement against the British authorities, and the British finally resorted to violent measures, oppressive measures. In the beginning, the statistics, we can say the number started from 1000, and in the end of the movement more than 60,000 Indian followers of non-cooperation movement were arrested by Britishers. Okay, and in the end, when the movement was going in a good way, in a very good we can say speed, at that time unfortunately Prince of Wales, he came to India and the Indians were already dissatisfied, so they just showed their anger and they just shown him black flags, and they just in some way or the other just insulted that prince. The British authorities, they were badly hurt at this incident. They felt dishonored, and they just opened fire to a mob of satyagrahis. Quite a few number of people were killed. Now people became very angry and they just set a police station of Britishers on fire, and such violentful activities occurred one after the other. Now Gandhiji, as he told in the beginning that this was purely a non-violent movement, but now the movement was not a non-violent one. A couple of violentful activities were occurring, and so Gandhiji decided to put a halt, put a stop to that movement. Motilal Nehru, Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Lala Lajpat Rai, Subhash Chandra Bose, even all such great personalities, they also became angry. They didn't accepted this move of Gandhiji. According to their opinion, if that movement of non-cooperation was not stopped, had not been stopped, then it would have gained us a lot. What we have decided, that is complete freedom, we must have attained if the movement had not stopped at that time. But the movement came to an halt. on 22nd February 1922. The incident is famous by the name of Chauri Chaura incident. So whatever the thing is, but we had a successful non-cooperation movement. So these are the causes and events. I hope the viewers must have gained full knowledge about this movement. We are waiting for your suggestions to make this program more knowledgeable to all of you. So with a message of coming up with a new program with a new knowledge so that it might benefit our viewers, please like, share, give your suggestions and subscribe us on YouTube. Your suggestions are always invited and welcomed by us. Thanking you.